Watch the moment protesters in northeastern Iran tear down a giant flag of the Islamic Republic, a powerful symbol of a country on edge. This comes as tensions continue to flare across Iran, with unrest spreading far beyond isolated demonstrations. What began in late December 2025 as protests over economic collapse has now transformed into something far bigger, a nationwide political revolt. Sparked by the collapse of Iran's currency and soaring living costs, the uprising has now spread to at least 78 cities and 222 locations, with demonstrators openly calling for the end of the regime. But the response from the authorities has been brutal. Iranian police and security forces have moved in violently, and human rights groups report that at least 36 people have been killed, including 3 children, according to reporting by the BBC and The Guardian. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, has dismissed protesters as rioters, while rights groups say nearly 1,000 people have already been arrested. International pressure is also beginning to mount. Speaking aboard Air Force One, President Donald Trump warned that the United States could hit Iran very hard if protesters are not protected.
Look, we're watching it very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States.
So far, however, there's been no sign of direct US action, even as the reported death toll continues to rise, and no clarity from the White House on what would actually trigger intervention. Facing growing internal pressure, Iran's government has announced new economic measures aimed at calming unrest. State media says President Masoud Pezeshkian has ordered security forces not to attack peaceful demonstrators, while officials unveiled emergency assistance to help families survive the crisis. A government spokesperson said national food subsidies for households would be tripled, adding roughly $7 a month to existing support. But for many Iranians, it's seen as too little, too late. As protests spread, crackdowns intensify, and global attention sharpens. The question now is whether Iran's leadership can contain a movement that appears to be slipping beyond its control. Daniel Smith, GB News.